Welcome back. Today we learn about classes. We'll explore classes and object orientation. It is one of the most powerful concepts in Python programming, and we learn how to define a class, use methods and properties, and understand the inheritance. By the end of this video, we'll know how to write clean and reusable code. So what's a class? Think of a class as a blueprint or a plan to create the objects. Every object created from a class can have unique data but will share the same structure and behavior. For example, take a class as a car. Okay, so car will have like different objects, like it will have a brand name, a model, and say like methods or functions like start or stop. Okay, so basically consider we will define a class as a car and we will have this objects in it as a brand model. So we'll just see this using one of the examples so we can learn understand it better. So to define a class, we have to use a class keyword as we have written in our program, and then we have to write a name of that particular class. Okay, so then we have to define the objects. So for defining it, like we have to use this define, and we have to use it init. Like it's init. This init is called as a constructor. It is a special method in a class which is used to create and initialize an object of a class. Okay, so there will be like different types of constructors, and constructors main object main motive is only to invoke automatically when that object of a class is created. It cannot return any other value other than the null. Okay, so let's see how. Here then when we are writing a constructor, this is a syntax for it, and then we have to use a self keyword. So what's the self keyword? It doesn't mean like ourselves. A self keyword, it's like self parameter, is a reference to a current instance of a class and is used to access variables that belongs to that particular class. Okay. So once that is done, that means that when an object is called, self replaces it by that object. Okay. So we'll just understand it in the example as well. And then we have to define the parameters or arguments in it. So here self and then only one argument we are defining as a brand. Okay, so then this is a syntax, so then we have to define it like self dot brand is equal to brand, and then we are initializing a variable like my car is equal to car and Toyota. That's a brand name we are given. So when we say print my car dot print, it will print this particular Toyota here. So that's how we define the classes. So as we have said earlier into self, that it means that when the object is called, self replaces it by that object. Okay. So here when we are calling this particular object, self will replace this and then it will know that for this particular my car, it will be like brand will be Toyota. So that what it is. Okay. So let's see, go to our next slides. Here is class attributes. So class attributes are variables. Class attributes are variables that are shared across all objects of a particular class. They are defined directly inside a class, not inside a class and not inside the constructor. For example, every dog will have might belong to a particular species. Okay, so no matter how many dog objects we will create, they'll all share that same particular attribute. So here, let's see an example of this to understand it okay better in a better way. So here we will see like we have already defined this and we'll just run it. Okay. So if you see here, we have defined this class as a dog, as a created a class, and we have said the species is canon. And as we have seen earlier how to define the object, same way we have defined the objects here, and we have defined one like make this d1 is equal to dog max, it's the name that we have given, and we're just asking it to print the species of that particular dog. So we'll see and run here. If we see it's canon. So same way if we say give like d2 for dog and is equal to dog comma, and we give it a name say Lucy, and we'll run this as well. So just for better understanding, say D2 spacious. So see, it's given canon. So basically, this particular it will apply to whatever the objects that will be defined into this particular class. Okay, so this is what it means. Let's see our next slide. Static methods. So static methods are like helpers that live inside a class but don't depend on any instant or that particular class data. You create one using the so when we are creating a static methods, we have to define it using add static method for the Python to know. They are like great for utility functions, for example adding two numbers inside a math class. So we have given this example here, so let's run these as well and we'll see how it happens. So here, if we want to run this particular program, so we'll get an answer. Okay. So at static method, we have defined, like we have said that it's a static method that we are using. So we are defining it at static method, and then we are defining add a comma b and return a plus b. Then math, we are just calling it out like math dot add and 5 comma 3. Those are the parameters we are running it into this particular object. So let's see this example and we'll get an answer as 8. So this is what static methods mean. Let's see a next slide. It's class methods. So class methods are a bit different. They work with the class itself rather than individual objects. The first argument is always CLS. Okay, so here we have to define, we'll see how it works. And you can use them to modify class level data or to create alternative constructors. For example, we might use a class method to set the company name for all employee objects. So we'll see this one as well. We'll run this. So here we are defined a class as employee and we are given a company name as ABC. Okay. And here at class method, we will have this is our class attribute. And here like at class method and define set company, we have to say it as we have to define like CLS comma name. So CLS dot company is equal to name employee dot set company. So we are like calling this particular class now dot set company and we are running this particular parameter like xyz limited. So when we again print it out employee dot company, it will get replaced out if you see here now. See earlier it was ABC and now it has got replaced with xyz. So let's go to our next slide. It's static methods with inheritance. So we learn about inheritance in our later chapters as well. So we'll just go through these methods and clear it. So when a subclass inherits from a parent class, it also inherits the static methods. Okay. Since static methods don't rely on instance or class data, they behave the same in both the parent and the child classes unless overridden. So if we define a great method, so we'll just take this example and we'll understand how what this is. See here it will get hello from base. So basically class base like static method, we have defined it and defined greet. This is one of the class and like this is a parent class we can say, and we have defined print hello from base. Okay. So now we are defining a child like inherited from this. So class derived, this is a base from deriving it from base. We are not passing like creating an object and we are like derived dot grid. So it will print this particular from its parent class. So let's go to our next slide. Class method with inheritance. Class methods, on the other hand, are polymorphic, meaning they automatically know which subclass they are being called from. When you call a class method using a subclass, the CLS argument refers to the subclass itself. This makes it easy to create subclass instances dynamically. So let's understand this as well. What does it mean? We'll just have a small program run for understanding. See, we will get here class, and it will give us like it's running from the main main this particular like main dot circle. So it tells us from where it is getting run out. So let's go to the next slides, properties. Properties let us control how attributes are accessed and modified instead of exposing the data directly. We can use that property to create getter and setter methods. This helps you validate or transform data before it's used, keeping your code clean and safe. Properties and inheritance. Properties can also be inherited. Subclasses automatically get the parent's properties, but they can override them if needed. This is super useful when you want to modify how data is presented or controlled in a subclass without changing the base logic. So next slide we have is overriding properties with template meta. Sometimes we'll want subclasses to redefine only part of a process. That's where the template meta pattern comes in. We define the main logic in a parent class and let subclasses fill in the details. It keeps our code structures while still allowing the customization. So let's wrap it up. We have explored how classes, attributes, and methods form the foundation of object oriented programming in Python. We have learned how static and class method help organize the logic and how properties give control. So let's meet in our next slide.